I want to jump to this next story here from the National Review. Sounds about right. Ex-CIA chief Michael Hayden implies Trump should be executed for taking classified documents. So, Jack, Civil War?
Yeah, again, you've got people like Michael Hayden, General Michael Hayden, head of the CIA, someone who's actually had people executed, right, overseas in drone strikes, going ahead and just using that same type of language. Meanwhile, by the way, the right is we're being told we have to tone down our rhetoric because of this guy in Cincinnati. But you got the general out there saying this. Michael Hayden is saying it from the CIA, from the FBI. How many weeks has it been since Justice Kavanaugh and his family were nearly shot to death by a crazy left-wing Redditor who had in his backpack flex cuffs and duct tape. He had a 9mm Glock on him. And this was the same guy who had posted, you saw they pulled his internet searches, right?
Oh, yeah. And he was looking for other.
He was looking for other justices. And then he also Googled how to be stealthy, assassin skills, and where best place to stab someone.
Wow. I was actually assuming that it was going to be like mixed in there. It was going to be something like about, beautiful women in your area or something like that.
Actually, yes. So he posted on Reddit and came out as MTF and was looking for someone to cuddle with on, I forget exactly which subreddit it was, but was posting in those chats that looking for a cuddle, said, "Hey, I'm really into movies and I'm looking for someone who's also into movies and I just want to cuddle. It's like Friends, but it's kind of my own thing that I'm working on."
Everybody needs a good cuddle. Come on.
100%.
MTF is male to female?
That's right.
Okay.
All right. So here's what Michael Beschloss tweeted. He tweeted, Rosenbergs were convicted of giving U.S. nuclear secrets to Moscow and were executed June 1953. And a bunch of these outlets like media was like, they never actually said anything about Trump in the tweet.
He's just sharing some fun facts.
And then if you look at his series of tweets, which he says a bunch of stuff, then tweets this and says a bunch of stuff, it's all like Trump may have given secrets out or something like that. Or what if Trump gave an adversary nuclear codes?
Well, so before we get too far down the rabbit hole on this, just from a basic overall standpoint, that doesn't apply to the executive. That doesn't apply to the commander-in-chief. So Trump, and we were talking about this before we came on air, but Trump, when he was the president, Joe Biden currently, Barack Obama when he was president, for all presidents, right, they have plenary declassification authority. The same way that he has plenary pardon power, which I actually tweeted this morning that, the people who said that Trump should have pardoned, don't pardon Assange, don't pardon Snowden, don't pardon Ulbricht. Why? Because then you might have trouble with the DOJ. Yeah, that look how that worked out, right? So, but by the same token, he can declassify whatever he wants, whenever he wants, because he is the authority. There's no authority over him for that.
Imagine Donald Trump goes to meet with Vladimir Putin, and he's trying to negotiate demilitarization, nuclearization.
Which has been U.S.-Russia policy for 50 years.
So he goes to Putin and says, look, I'd love to tell you about how we're going to de-escalate, but it's all classified. I can't negotiate with you. Like, what? The president literally has to negotiate with the president of other countries about nuclear
all the time
weapons.
Right. This has been going back to Reagan, Gorbachev, going back to Carter, the SALT treaties. I mean, this obviously they're going to be discussing nuclear weapons posture because that's a JFK and the Cuban Missile Crisis, right. And then the missiles that we had in Turkey. That was like the secret agreement to pull those back.
It would be
obviously
funny if they retroactively go back in time and charge all presidents with treason for discussing our weapons stockpile.
So you're saying we should convict JFK?
Yeah, back in time.
Dig up his corpse. If it's available. Didn't his head disappear, his brain disappear or something after he was killed? There was like a theory that his brain went missing.
His brain went missing?
Because it was too much evidence about how he got hit. They said it was one bullet in the back of the head, but they're like, actually, it was multiple bullets. But we can't find his brain, so
I don't know how any person would be able to take chunks of brain and be like, this was more than one bullet.
Yeah, Pearl Jam wrote "Brains of Jay." It's a song of theirs off of Yield, all about that.
Anyway,
who's got the brains of JFK?
When we're at the point where you have an MSNBC host, NBC staffer, historian, and a former CIA director insinuating Trump should face execution.
Well, what's the story here? So he says,
by the way, could you imagine if me and Charlie Kirk get up at a Turning Point event and we just start talking about Dr. Fauci and Joe Biden, Hunter, any of the Bidens, anyone with the Biden name with this type of language? Right, we're done. We'd be completely done. We'd probably be arrested by the time we got off stage.
January 26, 2021, Marjorie Taylor Greene indicated support for executing prominent Democrats in 2018 and 2019 before running for Congress.
There you go.
All this indicated and suggests potentially that crap. Like what?
Suggests potentially that.
Before we go into her, I mean, we could look at her stuff too. But what did the guy say that said he implied that he may? I saw a quote that said like that may be cool or whatever he said.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right, and it's all out of context, and it's like implied that
it's not
possibly,
out of context.
Like what did he say?
Michael
to what?
Beschloss has a thread where he's like, "What if Donald Trump was selling our nuclear secrets?" Then the news came out from Washington Post, which was basically fake news, saying they were looking for nuclear documents, and he said, "I'm re-upping this tweet." Then he said,
"Wait. So he tweeted that before the article?"
Yes.
Oh wow.
He tweeted before the article came out.
Wow.
Then after the article came out, he said, "I'm re-upping my tweet here to highlight this. Yeah. Don't want to be overly speculative." Made some other comments about Donald Trump and nuclear documents, then posted this, and then posted more about how imperative we must get the search warrant to understand what they were looking for. Basically saying, before the article came out, Donald Trump may have had nuclear web codes or secrets, and he may have been selling them. Oh no, this story suggesting he did. We executed people who did that before. We better get that search warrant now.
And then the CIA guy said...
Sounds about right.
But like in what context? Did he put it on the Twitter thread or did he...
He added the thread right saying sounds about right.
Yeah.
But what is he talking? See, I don't. What is he talking about?
Which, by the way, that was actually.
Look.
By the way, the Rosenberg. That was the building. Because back in the 1950s, the ability to build nuclear weapons was a closely guarded U.S. secret, and only we had it. Obviously, it was a huge advantage of us over the Soviet Union, and for the Soviets, even after they got it later, it was a huge advantage for them over communist China. It's one of the reasons that led to the Sino-Soviet split, because the Soviets never wanted Chairman Mao to have nuclear weapons, but then they get it anyway. The U.S. exacerbates this, et cetera, et cetera. But the Rosenbergs, the whole point was that they were selling how to build nuclear weapons, which is totally different than just saying, hey, we've got 6,000, but we'll break it down to 5,000 if we can sign this treaty. And,
Also, I mean, if Trump had nuclear codes, they were defunct. They were from a year ago. And what would giving ancient nuclear codes to someone do? Because they have different codes now.
Why would he? It's just.
Do you know about Trump's red button?
No.
Have you guys heard the story? The red
I saw
button?
the meme of the button being smashed.
No, but so when Trump was president,
did it lock the door when women walked in his office?
No, he didn't work for MSNBC.
That's
Matt Lauer, right? And then so Trump had a red button on his desk when he was president, and that button was attached to a wooden box, and he would have people into his office. And the Oval Office, and when they were having the meeting, he would just, in the middle of the meeting, just randomly go, "Oh, sorry, no, I know everybody's looking at that button. No, nobody wants me to put that button here. I'm just going to push it away." And he'd push it away from himself on the desk.
Is this
and then Trump pushes the button,
and then just like slides it away, and then he's like, "No, don't worry about the button. Don't worry, it's just there." And then he would go back, and you were saying. And they'd all be because he would know that they'd still all be like totally fixated on the button. and then every once in a while, he might just kind of lean over and then he just kind of like tap it. And then everybody's freaking out in the middle, but they're not trying to say anything because it's the Oval Office and you have to have the decorum, etc. And then eventually what would happen is a side door would open up and then somebody would walk in with a Diet Coke for him. And that's what it was. It was to order a Diet Coke.
Is that real?
Dead serious.
No.
Dead serious.
Get a Diet Coke button in the Oval.
Go pull it up. Oh. Dead serious.
I feel like Tim is now like, what am I going to get? What's my button going to be?
Tim's like, I want a red button. What would you have for your red button, Tim? New beanies.
A bottle of water, maybe.
Bottle of water.
I got my water. I can get it myself. I don't really need one.
Coconut water?
No. I don't know. Maybe some bacon or that.
We should get Ian a graphene button made out of graphene.
Okay. You press a button.
Yes.
And they bring up 2 pieces of crispy bacon. Not too crispy, but crispy enough.
Do you like it blackened? Do you like it charred?
No.
I
like it. Like the fatty parts should be fatty, but the rest should be pretty good. I don't
so
like
you can fold it and kind of get it together.
I don't like it disintegrating, but I like it just right before.
Regarding bacon fat, like what's a healthy amount of daily bacon fat?
As much as possible.
But like just from one strip?
I pour the whole thing into my eggs.
Yeah, you should.
And look how much weight I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been a couple of weeks since I was here, but even from then to now, you definitely lost weight.
Interesting.
And I've done it by pouring bacon grease into my eggs.
Eat fat, get fit.
And your eyes.
Eat fat, get fit.
Eat
I
fat,
really
get
want you
fit.
to write a diet book now, just about bacon fat and the wonderful powers of bacon
Huge
fat.
thing of butter. I put a fourth cup of cream into my coffee.
Real butter.
Farm butter.
Better be real butter. Yes.
I can't describe the smell. It is like when you cook with store-bought butter and then you go buy farm butter, it's insane. The smell is so dramatically
You
different.
realize you've been lied to your entire life.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
waking up for the first time and you're like,
You're right.
It's almost like water, that farm butter. It's so pure and clean.
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
It's like when I'm in Eastern Europe, we were in Poland or from visiting Tanya's family. It's like that's what everything's like over there. They don't
Real food.
It's just real food.
Having milk in Europe was crazy.
Yeah.
It tastes so different.
Yeah, it's so rich.
Real.
It's so rich.
Let's
and the deal with the deal with the fat though. I mean, we can't go overlook that. The fact that fat has been lied about so many years in this country.
Fake news.
By the industry, but the fake news of, you want to talk fake news, let's talk about the food pyramid, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so this is, and anytime I get a chance to talk about this, it's just, they've been lying to you. They've been lying to you for 50 years about fat.
Bread and
yeah.
grain and pasta, they wanted you to eat
No,
that as
no,
the primary
no,
source of
no,
your diet. That is
no,
freakish.
Absolutely not.
I got that all growing up, that propaganda. I thought
We
you were
all did. No,
supposed
we all
to
did.
eat
We all
wheat.
did. It was that and that acid rain and quicksand were like everywhere.
Yeah, apparently I saw a new article said that rain on Earth is no longer safe to drink because of microplastic. I don't know what they're called. PFCT.
I'm
things
just
or-
like, dude, get out of cities.
hey, regarding
Get out of
civil
Get out of cities.
There you
regarding
go.
Get out of
Civil
cities.
War.
Butter is better outside of the city. You
Oh,
have
it's so
to
much
leave.
better.
Get
No,
out of
hold
cities.
on, real quick. I'll throw it to you in real quick. There's a farm near us, and they have a little farm stand, and you walk up, and they give you butter that they did themselves. They put it in the thing, they seal it, they hand it to you. It's amazing. Couple bucks. It's like, and your mind is blown by how delicious this
Yo,
butter is.
Joanne's
Yeah.
been making butter. Did she
That's
tell
right.
you about it?
My mom.
got a butter churner.
That's
yeah,
right. That's
I
right.
kind of want to get a butter churn.
Yeah. You were going to say something about Civil War.
Well, yeah, whether or not it's a civil war, I think is semantic.
One side knows how to make the butter.
One side knows how to make butter, one side doesn't. One
One
side
side's
wins.
eating sugar.
Hey,
One side's
guns and butter, right? Guns and butter.
I've been thinking lately that it's more of a fifth generation world war, and that what I'm concerned about is that they're going to use the United States as the proxy, and it's going to be an Asian versus European war, and they're going to just let it happen here, and they'd be happy to see us go. They'd be happy to see this country get leveled, get taken over, get dissipated, whatever.
Well, China doesn't want us destroyed the same way they don't want Taiwan destroyed because we're their market, right? We're their consumers. You must consume. So if they lose the United States and yeah, they're certainly building in with Europe and they're making their inroads all over the place in Europe. But you lose the United States, you lose your biggest customer.
Yeah, but rebuilding, would we be in desperate straits and we'd need to buy that steel from someone if we had to rebuild too? I know what you mean, though. I don't think anyone really wants the infrastructure blown up or anything, but I
Yeah.
think ultimately England, we think of them as our friends, France as our friends, but in the heat of the moment, I think they're all going to look at the United States and be like, you know what, warmonger, you're on your own, and if we need to fight China in Kansas, we're going to fight China in Kansas.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.